Unai Emery has inherited a £300,000 a week nightmare.
Right.
He has. I mean, he took him off for a reason. You're a man down without the ball. You're a man down without the ball. And then when you have the ball, he doesn't do enough. At times he does. At times he'll do something brilliant because he's got brilliance in him, Mesut Ozil. But he's inherited a £300,000 plus player, and now he's got to make a decision. What do I do with this guy?
It's amazing.
Where do I play him? How do I get the best out of him?
There's a saying in football that when you have a player like Mesut Ozil, he will get you the sack. And what I mean by that is this: he will show you brilliance for one game.
Right.
So Bobby Robson used to map it out, 6 games. What sort of a player do you want to be? As you said, 4 good games, 1 great game and 1 unbelievable game. Not 1 good game and then go missing. This is the problem, and Craig's spot on. This is a massive problem for Unai Emery because we cannot keep seeing this from Mesut Ozil. We cannot. It's impossible with the money that he's on. He is the creator. He is the playmaker. It should go through him.
You play him wide, he doesn't track back. You play him left, you play him right, he doesn't track back in some of the games. You play him in the middle, in the hole, he doesn't go and press the deep line midfielder that was Jorginho, who can then pass the ball.
So that's why you
drop him.
That's why you've got to have players around him. You've either got to have players around him that demand. Did we see any players on that field today for Arsenal demanding, pointing fingers? No, we didn't.
Listen,
not at all.
You get Unai Emery will go to the board and say, if he starts dropping Mesut Ozil and he goes a different way, and by the way, they've just lost their first 2 games of the season. It's not exactly a crisis, but it's not great, right? At some point, he has to go and say, listen, I can't play this guy because he's not doing what I want, and I'm going to be hired or fired at this football club on the decisions that I make. I'm new to England. They don't care what I did in Spain or what I did in France. I am new to this club, and I'm following a guy who was very successful early on. And the board will be saying, like, well, you know, we're paying this guy, so he's got a decision to make. What's the best for him and what's the best for the team? Not what's the best for Mesut Ozil or any of these big-time Charlies. At the end of the day, he needs everybody on board or he's going to fail at Arsenal. If he doesn't get them all on board or get them out, he's going to fail. It is a huge job. We knew that already, but it is a huge job.
Big result for your boy Ancelotti, Gab.
Yeah. I mean, I think he was certainly happy after the game, pointing out about how they started slowly, and Immobile's goal was a bit of a wake-up call. I think when you look at this within the context of the build-up to this game, with the fans being unhappy and having a go at the owner, and sort of a lot of uncertainty surrounding it, I think we saw what Ancelotti really does best, which is he's a very multifaceted manager. He can play in many different ways, and he's kept a lot of elements from what was there before with Sari. But what you also saw at the end, and which is something that people said Sari's team sometimes lack, is the self-belief, the mental toughness to go and get back into games, especially away from home against a team like Lazio, who are awkward, who are a good side, who played a really good game. So I think in terms of personality, this Napoli team are already there.
You've got Juve to win it into 2nd, Roma 3rd, Napoli meanwhile 4th. Top scorer Cristiano Ronaldo. An interesting pick though for your player of the season, Milinkovic-Savic.
I very much just think this guy is the best midfielder in the world. I mean, I know that sounds like it's a huge statement, but he's been watched by the biggest clubs around the world, from Manchester United to Real Madrid to Juventus. Everyone wants him. We know Lazio never let a player go for free, but there's nothing that this man can't do. Score goals, produce marvellous performances. He's clutch. He's the guy that will win you the games when everyone's down and out. He's a leader on the pitch and off it. So for me, I definitely think he's the guy that will make a difference. Just remains to be seen how much Lazio can do this season.
Big statement, Robbo.
He's a very good player. We talked about him during the World Cup. He's a player that can play off the front. He's good in the air, brilliant in the air. When goalkeepers kick long, he'll chest it down. He's a decent passer without being an overly creative passer. He'll do the right things at the right time. He's powerful as well. He's a very good attacking midfield player. At one point, he played as in a midfield 3. Now he plays higher up the field, almost as a second striker, as he did for Serbia.
Should we take a look at Gab's picks?
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried. Do you take a look at Gab's picks? Juventus, Roma, Inter Milan, AC Milan 4th. He's got top scorer to be Icardi, player of the year to be Ronaldo. But we know that Gab and Carlo Ancelotti have a very special relationship.
Yeah, what's
happened
there?
Gab? Has there been an argument, a falling out? Did he forget your birthday? Not in the top 4.
You know what it is? 7 straight years I have picked a team other than Juventus to win the Serie A title. And 7 straight years, what do Juve do? They go out and win it. This year, I'm being counterintuitive. I'm using reverse psychology. I'm picking Juve to win it, and I'm picking Ancelotti to fall out of the top 4, perhaps hoping that things aren't quite going to go that way. Joking aside, my one concern with Napoli, as much as I adore Ancelotti, of course, is that his style of football is quite different. There will be a transition. Ancelotti can play many different ways. He inherited from Guardiola. He can adopt some of those elements, but Sari is Sari, and I think it's going to take some time for them to get going.
Let's take a look at some other picks, shall we, for the title. Let's start with Stuart Robson. It was a good picture you got there, Robbo. It's definitely a filter used there.
Thanks.
Juve, Inter, Roma, Napoli. Edin Dzeko, top goal scorer. Player of the Year, Douglas Costa.
Yeah, I think he's going to create a lot of opportunities out on that right-hand side or left-hand side, wherever he plays, and he's going to get crosses into the box for Ronaldo. Ronaldo will get the better of it. But Edin Dzeko, I thought, is underrated at the moment. He's outstanding. He'll score lots of goals.
Shaka looks out of breath in his picture. Juventus, Inter, Napoli, AC Milan, Ronaldo. Makes sense, Shaq.
It does.
Juve going to win the title.
I think this Juventus
You just said that for ease.
This Juventus team are built to service Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't see how he doesn't win both titles, in all honesty.
I've got Juve, Roma, Inter, Napoli.
10 years ago. 10 years ago.
That was pre-marriage, pre-kids. Ronaldo. There it is. Mina, thank you very much. Enjoy the start of the season in Turin. And just a reminder, Juventus against Chievo live on ESPN Plus tomorrow. Coverage starting at 12 Eastern. And ESPN FC will be with you tomorrow as well to look back at the opening day of Serie A, plus reviewing all the big games in England, including Chelsea-Arsenal.
There was one interesting one actually in the first half where there was the ball played up to him in the halfway line. It was a beautiful little, with his back to goal, beautiful little Cruyff flick. Defender sold himself. Got Juventus on the front foot. All of a sudden, there were 3 against 2, and there Ronaldo was, drifting to the back post on the left, and Cuadrado down the right with the ball. Now, he hadn't read the memo, Cuadrado, so I'm sure it'll be in his locker room come Monday morning. Do not shoot once I have made the play and pass it to the back post. Cuadrado takes a shot on. We get the shot of the frustrated Ronaldo at the back post. So his Juventus teammates are going to have to get on the same page, basically, and I think we'll see that as the season builds. But for Allegri, it's about getting 3 points. The one thing I did notice, and I said this to you about Man City at the start of the season, the Juve bench, when you look at it, you go, it is stacked with quality players. Allegri's got a big squad, he's got a good squad, and there should be no excuses for them, no reason why, 1, they're not dominating in Italy, and 2, they're not going all the way in the Champions League. Allegri
makes a good point, and this is a kick up the backside, isn't it?
I thought his quote, I look at it a little bit tongue-in-cheek, because exactly the reasons why Craig said, look, this is a very, very strong squad. I think we all expect them to win the league, win Serie A. I think most of us expect them really to push hard into the Champions League. This is a very good squad with a lot of experience all over the field. I just thought they're a little bit rusty today. You expected a little bit, but in the end, they got the victory and they can build it.
I think the interesting thing, just quickly, Dan, is, and I might be wrong here, but I think there is some sort of a siege mentality in Italy where they're saying, do you think you're going to come here and score the goals that you did in Spain? Now, it's nothing against Spain, but I think that's kind of the mindset from in Serie A and some of the teams and some of the players, whether they're Italian or non-Italian players. It's like, you think you're going to come here and we're going to afford you that space and that amount of goals? So there is going to be, I think, an aggression to make sure, obviously, that Ronaldo's not getting the freedom that he did in Spain at times.
Mina, do you get that sense, even just from today's game, is that we're not just here to play a bit part, we're here to win?
I mean, players are arriving at Bologna Football Club saying, we're here because we want to end this fairy tale for Juventus. It's so clear at this moment in time that everyone wants Juventus to realise that despite the fact that they've spent so well on the market, that everyone is out there to really attack them. But more importantly, while Allegri does say whatever he needed to say about, this needs to be a reminder to us, he also perhaps didn't get his tactics right and get the best out of his players. It looked like Dybala was so confused on a tactical level. Meanwhile, Ronaldo looked so much much better when he moved out a little bit to the left towards the end of the game. That's when he started creating his chances. It's about finding balance, and sadly for Allegri, he's a notoriously slow starter.
Let's bring Gab Marcotti into the show now. Gab, what was your big takeaway from what you saw in this one?
Well, I mean, look, one thing I agree with Craig, obviously, Mourinho said this too, Serie A is certainly not the best league in the world, but it is in some ways, it's maybe the most difficult, or certainly one of the more difficult ones, precisely because the way teams can set up tactically to shackle you and give you stuff to think about. And I think we saw that with Chievo. Chievo are, in my opinion, the worst team in Serie A, probably even worse than Frosinone. And yet there they were, basically playing at home, but it felt like an away game, and they managed to go a goal down and take the lead against Juve. I also agree with Mina, and we touched upon this the other day. I think Allegri is going to have a lot of thinking to do about Cristiano's position. He performs best when he starts on the left and comes inside. We've seen it before. To do that, though, you need a center forward. The only one they have is Mario Mandzukic. He can't play 50 games a year. It's just simply, I think, not possible. And that might be something to think about. Think about the way it affects Dybala, the way it affects Douglas Costa. There's a lot of moving parts here that I think Juve still need to sort out.
Let's look at that pick, shall we?
Look at that young man.
Who is it? The old filter. Barca to win the chair. Craig, you got Diego Costa as the player of the year.
Yes.
Why? Atleti aren't even going to win the league, and Leo Messi's going to be top scorer, but Costa's your player of the year.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Well, because Barca might share the goals around a little bit more, and I just think Diego
But you
Costa...
said Messi's going to be top goal scorer.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's going to be player of the year, because Diego Costa could maybe one goal behind him. Or whatever, but I think Diego Costa's going to have a great season. I'm not digging. Diego Costa...
Diego Costa is not going to be player of the year.
How do you know?
If Barcelona win the league,
it's the Barcelona and Real Madrid bias. It has to be a Barca or Real Madrid player. It can't be an unfashionable Messi player.
If Atletico Madrid win the league and Diego Costa is player of the season, then I give it to you.
He's not having it.
Doesn't matter.
He's not having
it. Doesn't matter. I'm taking the whole performances into the equation here. Diego Costa is going to be, looking at him, it's his first full season back. He was only available 6 months last year. He looks fit and hungry and ready to go. He is going to have a great season for a very good Atletico Madrid side. Mark my words.
You give him the Ballon d'Or now. That's it.
I think you'll find he's not the only one of our pundits that picked Diego Costa.
To be player of the year.
Player of the year.
Who else picked it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it must be.
Oh, does it have to be Messi or Ronaldo?
Yes.
Well, because you've got Barcelona winning the league and Messi being top goal scorer.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean Diego Costa can't have an outstanding season.
But he's not going to be player of the year, is he?
Well, what if he scores umpteen goals in the Champions League? And what if Atleti win the Champions League?
That's not La Liga, is it? Player of La Liga
No, I'm player of the year. Player of the year, not just La Liga.
There's only one player of the year in La Liga, and we all know who it's going to be.
Well, Diego Godin, according to Robbo.
Diego Godin.
Meanwhile, take a look at Mahrez.
Whoa!
There you are.
Well, hold on, did Robbo have Atletico Madrid winning the league?
No.
So how can Diego Godin be?
Well, I said exactly the same.
I mean, obviously, Barca will win it. I don't think there's any doubt on that. And top scorer, Lionel Messi, player of the year. Lionel
Messi stuff again, yeah.
Diego Costa.
Gab Marcotti, you are at Stamford Bridge. What was your big takeaway from this match?
Well, other than, as you guys said, that it was a crackers game, I think the fact that these two managers, they're nowhere near where they want their teams to be. Sari said you'll see the real Chelsea, the real Sari Chelsea in 2-3 months. Emery might as well say the same thing, because I refuse to believe that he wants Arsenal to play the way they did. As you guys rightly said, going and trying to press with Ozil and Mkhitaryan isn't going to work in this context, playing that crazy high line. I think Chelsea defensively, a lot, people focus on Sari going forward, but a lot of what made his success at Napoli were the defensive movements, which allowed him to go and send people to press high. Marcos Alonso, great as he is going forward, he has his lapses defensively. Azpilicueta had a couple moments where he didn't quite know where he was in terms of positioning. I'm thinking maybe going forward we might see more of Christensen, or we might see Christensen in there in central defense. So there's a lot of things that still need to be ironed out for both teams. But tell you what, those first 25 minutes, that was pretty incredible. You haven't seen football like that at Stamford Bridge, I think, in a long, long time.
Well, the trouble is that if you want to play a certain way, as Gab said there, and you've got to have a good defensive structure, if your side is going to play like that and is sometimes as open as that and is attack-minded like that, then against the better teams, and we saw some of it last week against Huddersfield, where Chelsea came through, but against a better team, which Arsenal clearly are, we saw how they started to pick holes. Now, one of the guys we talked about a lot this week, and has been a very touchy subject for some, has been Jorginho. Now, Jorginho, when he gets on the ball, he's very, very tidy, making passes, and the play goes through him. And for all and sundry, people keep telling us that's what Sari wants in the system. I'm fed up hearing it. But at some point, there's going to have to be a question asked if there are so many holes defensively and in front of that back four, whether he wants the passing holding midfielder or whether he wants the blocking, breaking up, covering holding midfielder that N'Golo Kante is. They're two different kind of players, but they both really want to play the same position. Kante, a World Cup winner with France. Jorginho more suited it because Sari knows him. But I'm not saying it was all because Jorginho's playing in there, but what I'm saying is there's going to come a point if your opponents are creating as much against you as Arsenal were, you have to ask yourself, what kind of player do I want in there? Because there's no doubt in my mind, the best player in world football at the moment at breaking play up and covering fullbacks and playing that role, for me, is N'Golo Kante. Now, if I want a player that can pass the ball in that position, Jorginho's a better player.
Welcome into Extra Time. Craig, this is the last thing you're going to do before you go on the holiday.
Yep.
What a moment. Gab Markovsky's been waiting.
I'm actually technically on holiday. I was on holiday yesterday.
Really? Oh, so what happened?
I got called in.
Oh,
what a player. What a player.
What a team player.
What a player.
Beautiful.
Late replacement, sub. Super sub.
Sub for himself.
What a performance you put in.
Sub done.
Gab's here. It's late in London, Gab. You've been waiting around a long time, haven't you?
I have. I'm sad. I just come back from my holiday just as Craig goes off on his. We're like ships passing in the night, Craig.
Gab, I haven't got your patience. Sorry. I was looking at him there. Thanks.
You would have walked off, yeah?
I haven't got... Sorry?
You would have gone.
When I was back in London doing what Gab's doing, I would have gone. But I've been sitting over 20 minutes of silence and no connection from the US here. It was cables out, home.
But don't you think we know that?
Sitting listening to you lot babbling away for an hour and a half, I'd have been gone. Totally gone.
There you go.
I've done it.
And we thought...
I know you've done it.
No, but I mean, I've done all that sitting there for that time. It's ridiculous. Producer wants to have a look at himself. Freaking idiot.
Gab's in his shorts, though. We saw earlier. Ooh. He's comfortable. He's happy.
That's not... I don't want to see it.
Do you want to see... do you want to see Gab's legs?
I'm in my own home.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well done.
I know you're in your own home.
Right, when will one of you finally suggest to replace Ozil with Mkhitaryan as a number 10? His best years in Dortmund were under Tuchel and Klopp, who play similar styles to Emery.
So we've got to suggest a system to the new manager. Look, I mean...
Where's the tie today?
Mkhitaryan...
Normally you're in a tie.
I know, I had a chance today, because it's Saturday. Unai Emery has got to find the right system. If he's going to play Mesut Ozil, he knows Mkhitaryan very, very well.
Ozil's up for the chop under Emery if it continues. It's early in the season, but as I said on the show, for those that watched or seen it, he's a £300,000 a week headache for Unai Emery at the moment.
We're running out of time, so sorry, Gab.
And that's...
Go on, quick.
I was just saying, that's why I don't think he's going to get the chop for a long time. They've just committed an enormous amount of money to him. They have a new manager who's generally insecure at the best of times. He's going to give Ozil every opportunity to go and make this work. I don't see Emery having the personality or the backing to make such a move. Nor should he, frankly, because we know that Ozil's going to play better at some point, right? We do know that, maybe.
Well, maybe
no, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, though. You can't
maybe in the smaller games, maybe not the bigger games.
You can't.
That's why it's a £300,000 a week headache, because has he got the stomach to drop him? What are the board going to say? What's Ozil's reaction? The bottom line here is you can't have passengers.
You can't play with 10.
He has become that passenger and that headache.
It's as simple as that.
So
let's talk about the hot potato that is Jorginho. Stuart Robson, of course, not impressed with him particularly, caused a bit of a storm on Twitter. How would you rate his performance today, Gab? You were there?
I thought he did. I thought he was pretty good. I mean, I think
was he the man of the match?
As we said during the
I
show,
think John Cross, who writes in the Mirror,
right, he wasn't man of the match, but I think one of the problems you run into, as you guys said, is when Barkley and Conte press, they leave him on his own. So if the other side breaks the press, then he's just kind of sitting there, and he's a bit of a sitting duck. He doesn't have Conte's quickness or defensive ability, but by the same token, though, in Sari's system, that role is not a defensive midfield holding role. It's the role of a guy who fills space and builds play. It wouldn't work as well with a traditional defensive midfielder in the role, unless it was like a young Xabi Alonso or somebody like that who could do both sides of the game. So I think you just have to put up with it and find other ways to go and give Chelsea the defensive cover that they need.
Paul, as a former Arsenal man, how do you think Socrates has done these first 2 games?
Terrible.
What's his full name, Craig? Craig's very good with the deals.
Papastotopoulos.
There you go.
Right.
Papastotopoulos.
Thank you for that. Look, if he was very impressed. If he was with Koscielny, I feel a lot happier. But the two of those guys together, with Mustafi and Socrates, you saw it today. It was so obvious to me that Morata's lacking in confidence. When the ball went into his feet, they just let him have it. They didn't put any pressure on him. So I'm sorry, I don't see it. I know it's coming from Borussia Dortmund. I know that he came in fairly highly rated, but I don't see it. I've no positives for him.
Just remind me a minute, Gab. Just remind me a minute. 1 second. Last year, Napoli under Sari. What did Napoli win under Sari?
Oh, here we go. Oh, this is going to be
Here we go.
points
Here
total.
we go.
This has got points total written.
They finished second with one of the top 5 points totals in history.
What trophies did they win under Sari at Napoli?
You didn't win tin pot. Look, those trophies are all. It's all nonsense. It's knockout competitions. You have to be good, but you also have to be lucky. The only trophy that matters is the league.
I'm not saying it's good.
They finished second in the league.
Well, nobody remembers who finished second. Who finished second in the Premier League last year? I can't really remember. Who finished second in Spain?
United.
Who finished second in the Dutch league? I don't really care who finished second.
See, look, there's evidence of your anti-United agenda. The fact that you don't remember that Jose Mourinho finished second in the Premier League.
You're right.
His greatest ever achievement.
You're absolutely right. You're right. I've just turned it from Napoli to being a bias against
United.
Manchester United. One thing I'm pointing out here, and I'm not saying he's not a good coach, not a good manager, but everybody keeps saying to me, the Sari system.
Yes.
I'll go back to it. At the end of the day, it's about winning trophies. The Klopp system at Liverpool, the Mourinho system at Man United, or whatever system, this is about winning trophies. The Sari system that people keep saying, and it bores me to death because everybody's an expert now out there on the Sari system, on this system, on that system. Let's see if he might have to change his system and adapt his system.
To the players he's got.
To the players and the players that he signs and the way the things happen in the Premier League to start winning trophies. Chelsea are not interested in finishing second. Chelsea are not interested in not and get to the FA Cup final and winning it. They've been a team historically in the last 18 years in particular, whatever it is, the last 20 years, 2 decades, they've won trophies, right? Sari did not, but as good as it was in the eye and as pleasing it was in the eye, the Sari system that people keep talking about may have to adapt at some point.
What do you make of Unai Emery's impact and tactics after 2 games?
Who are you talking to?
Whoever wants to answer, and we'll answer quick.
I'm very concerned, Dan. I really am. Look, we give him somewhat of a pass, but it was glaring against Manchester City. The City didn't get out of first gear. They were wide open. And today, I mean, he's sticking with the young lad Guendouzi in the middle of the park, which is very concerning. You could drive a double-decker bus.
You love that analogy.
What do you mean?
That double-decker bus.
Well, all right, a single-decker bus then. But
they're both the same width.
Anybody who watches the Premier League, look, some people may think that it's a breath of fresh air. It isn't. If you're an Arsenal fan, you've played 2 games and you've shipped 5 goals in, and it could have been more. So the system's not working. It's dead simple.
Well, they have played 2 of the better attacking teams in the Premier League. The one thing I would say is if if you've got a player in the middle of the park that's not interested in the defensive side of the game, you've got 3 against 2. You get a young guy in Guendouzi he's come in to make his Premier League debut against Man City, and then he's played against Chelsea away. 2 of the biggest games of the season, right? Undoubtedly. And you've got Xhaka, who's next to him, who isn't cutting the mustard in England, at Arsenal. He's just not doing it. You've got Touré on the bench, who again was on the bench. I don't know why he was on the bench, there might be a reason.
Ramsey on the bench.
But that was a surprise. But when you have a player in Ozil who doesn't want to do the defensive side from the number 10 role, straight away, if you do the maths, you've got 3 against 2. You've got Kante, you've got Barkley, and you've got Jorginho, and then you've got 2 Arsenal midfielders scrambling because one's not bothered. That's why, one of the reasons why they're getting stretched in the middle of the park. Once they get stretched in the middle of the park, then the back 4 gets stretched, and it's a snowball effect from there.
Finally, did any of you watch the Manchester City All or Nothing documentary? What do you make of Mourinho's comments about City's lack of class?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's very good.
I've heard lots of good things about it. I don't have Amazon Prime.
I haven't seen it yet.
There we go.
You don't have Prime?
No.
You tight sod. Well, you can get all your parcels dead quick and everything.
I don't have that many parcels.
Maybe your missus does, she just doesn't tell you. Said you're waiting 5 days for it to be posted, so it'll be posted straight away, and it'll be free.
Wow.
Absolute bobbins. I know that because Sam turns up at my house every damn day, and I've not ordered it.
Gab, have you seen it?
No, I have not, but I do have Amazon Prime, and wow, Mourinho's comments, I love that. I'm impressed that he's taken the time to see it and form his own opinion on it.
I know, I'm surprised he watched it. Like, why would you watch our arch enemy's documentary?
No, just in case he picked up some tips in his training, passing the ball around.
There we go.
Everybody's so sensitive, aren't they? Everybody out there, they're so super sensitive about such stupid, trivial stuff. It's only a game of football. Just talking about players. Just talking about it's not life or death.
Yeah.
I mean, just calm down, everybody.
All right, we'll calm down.
Social media, my God, Muppets are on there.
Dan's calm.
Come on, son, get us off. You lied to me today. It was an hour show.
Didn't lie, you didn't ask. Have a lovely holiday, Craig. When are you back next, Paul?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, lovely. Gab, lovely. Right, ESPN FC back tomorrow. What's happening? What are the matches tomorrow? What's happening?
Liverpool.
Liverpool on Monday.
No, they're not.
They are Monday.
All right, well, Monday then. Who's bothered?
Man City playing up beyond the
Oh, United are playing. Oh, we're going
Man City, Huddersfield. Absolute classic.
Oh, yes.